think we're live. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another live. My name is Michele, and I'm the owner of Vintage Revival Design Co. And today we are live on my page and Royce Cycle Treasures. Thank you so much, Royce, for inviting retailers to be on your page. And we're also live on YouTube. So if you pop on here, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know if it's your first time here, or I'll recognize your name if you're here often. So anyway, hello. I am excited about today's project. So today's project was inspired by the fact that I was shipping. I'm going to just make sure I can see comments. I think I can. Okay. So yesterday I was shipping a transfer. And it was a transfer that I hadn't worked with. And the paper that I had planned on using, I was going to do something different with it today, was the label masterboard paper. It's gorgeous, right? So many projects that we can do with this. Tags, collage, like all the things, right? And so I was super excited to work with this paper. And as I was shipping the transfer to my customer, I'm going to set this aside because I've done a little prep. This is the transfer that I sent her, right? And so this is the Cheers transfer. And as I was shipping it, I was like, wow, I've never used that before. And I hadn't really used the label masterboard paper yet. So I thought this is perfect. Hi, Shannon, and hi, Dawn. Thank you so much. Or is it Diana? Diana, thank you so much for saying hello and for being here. So we're going to be working with the label masterboard paper, which is by Royce Cycle Treasures. It's just gorgeous. And I don't know if she does this on purpose or if it's a happy accident, but when I put the colors up next to the transfer, and the paper, they were just beautiful. They just coordinate beautifully. They have the same vintage vibe. It's just, it was just beautiful. So let me show you what we're going to be working on. I'm going to pull up my project table and I'm going to make that the large one. Okay. The other thing is that I have a different camera orientation. And so I'm hoping that this is going to make it easier for you to see what I'm doing. So let me know if that works for you or if it doesn't. And Shannon, thank you so much for sprinkling. That is so kind and it's appreciated so much. Thank you. So anyway, so I have this, and then again, we're going to be working with this beautiful paper. Look how beautifully the colors just work, right? I mean, it was as if they were made to go together. So I was like, now what am I going to do this on now that I thought of that? I had this beautiful breadboard and it's large, but I loved it. And I decided that I really wanted to work with something with the raw wood. And so this is what we're going to be working on today. This is a breadboard. I'm going to say, gosh, okay, if this is 12 by 16, okay, this is definitely probably about 30 inches long, but really the area that I'm going to be working with is right about in here because this particular breadboard has these two bands, these wood bands in here. And so I thought this would be really perfect, but I wasn't sure. I thought, gosh, I could use the grapes, I could use the wine labels, but I'm using the labels from the Labels Masterboard. So many projects that we can do. So now that I've finally taken this out and I've decided what I want to do, now I've got the ideas. So what I did was I looked for the blank labels in the Label Masterboard paper. And let me put my glasses on so that I'll be able to say hello. Hi, Helen. Thank you so much from East Texas. Thank you for saying hello. This one I've got to fussy cut a little bit more, but I just looked for the blank labels in that masterboard paper and I came up with several. And then I was like, do I want to collage and do different labels, or how do I really want to do this? And what I decided that as I was looking through it, I decided that my favorite transfer in this was the anatomy of a wine bottle. And because of its size, I thought that it fit perfectly. So this is the transfer sheet that we're going to be using. This one happens to have, I believe it's 8. Is it 8 pages? Yes, 8 12 by 16 sheets. So anyway, when I thought about this, because when I was looking at it, I thought, okay, it has these little descriptions as it's talking about the anatomy of the wine bottle. And I thought how beautiful that would be in the different labels, right? And I thought, well, I can just kind of play around with the labels. And it happened to be that I had plenty to do each of the 11 because there were actually 12 plain labels in the sheet of the label master board. So that's what I did. I went ahead and cut those out. And because I know myself well enough to know that I will get busy and forget to fussy cut this one further, I'm going to go ahead and do that now before we get started adding everything to our breadboard, okay? So let's, oh, okay, and I can't really see that well. So all I'm doing is just cutting around the label, and I have that whole sheet of label masterboard paper that I can make all kinds of things with. I'm sure that many of you have seen some of the beautiful projects that are floating around using this paper. And it's just, it really is a glorious paper. I love it. It just has so many applications. So pick up that little bit. So I've got my labels. And then the next thing that I was trying to decide was I'm going to try to turn, I have to move something over here. I was trying to decide, okay, well, where do I want to start? Like, how would I break up this transfer? Let me know if this works for you, because I think now that you have the same view that I do, and that's what I want to happen. So there was somebody that was watching a live that I did on Saturday, and she asked me if I could adjust my camera, and I had never thought of it before. I couldn't at that time because it would have disconnected. But I thought, oh, that's brilliant. So I think we're looking the same way. And so I hope that's helpful for you. And if it is, let me know, because I'll just continue to do that going forward. So I'm going to set these labels aside. And I kind of looked at this and I thought each of these labels, right, could be, you know, I would put this text in something, you know, like, maybe that one would be really good right there, right? Because I could get all three of those. But as I was breaking down this transfer for this board, I thought, well, how am I going to, you know, break this down? And so I looked at it and I thought, well, this would be really perfect, like down here. So you can't see that. So I'm going to go up here 1 second. And this band underneath this little band here. So I could do the anatomy of a wine bottle down here. I think this would make a great gift for someone that enjoys wine, or in our area of Virginia, we are known for a lot of wineries. So this is a great thing that I can either gift or put in the shop. And I was just kind of excited about it. So I thought we could do the first piece really quickly because that's pretty easy. And I kind of want to center it, or maybe I want to wait till I get the bottle on. Let's wait till we get the bottle on so that I can center it and it's not off center. Okay. Thank you, Helen. I thought it was really fun. I hadn't thought of it until I was shipping one of these transfers to a customer. So I decided that I want to make sure that I'm keeping these little, the diagram in place. These little descriptions are going to go on each of the labels. And so that's what I'm going to do with this. So I'm taking this and I decided that I would kind of cut here. I want to keep, like I said, I want to keep that diagram in place. And I'm going to try to keep myself organized by this piece is going to go on the right, and this piece is up top, and this piece is on the left. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about this little bit here. We're probably going to just cut him out and put him there. But let's go ahead and just get our descriptions out. And that way, what I can do is go ahead and transfer the wine bottle itself. So I've got the heel down here. And so I'm going to cut that out and kind of lay that here and hope that I don't lose it as I'm going. And then I'm going to do this top bit. And I think what I'm going to do is cut around that arrow a little bit. And that's one of the things that I do love about the transfers is that you've got these grid lines and it makes it super easy to cut. So I'm going to set that up at the top. And then the only one that I really have to work on here is this lip. And I'm going to have to just cut a little bit without cutting into that diagram. But you can see how just a little planning, like, well, what would the process be for this so that it's not, you know, a frustrating project, because I think it can be a really fun project. So I'm going to set that up there. And then I'm just going to kind of come up here a little bit. I'm going to put that there. And then I think what I want to do is kind of center him. But I know I'm going to have a label up there. So, and that one's pretty small. So I think I'm going to go about here. And I'm going to kind of line him up with the handle on my board. And so this is about center for me. And so I'm going to put that in place like that. I'm going to pray that this doesn't come out all wonky. Let me just kind of stand up and see if I'm getting him kind of straight. It's really kind of a hand-drawn diagram, so I think it's going to be fine. Hi, Royce. How are you? We're working with the Label Masterboard paper, Royce, and the transfer, the Cheers transfer. I told them, I don't know if it's a happy accident or what, but your colors blend beautifully. So I'm going to come about, I think about right here. All right. And then let's just get that down. So you can see by doing this, we have all of these lines where we're going to be using our labels on the board to add the descriptions. And so I think that's a really a fun way to do it. Hopefully I haven't set this down so much that it's going to stick. Okay. Because you really shouldn't take your paper off until you're really ready to apply it. But okay. I think we are about good if I'm lining this up with my handle. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and do it, okay? I do want to let you know that because this was a raw piece of wood, what I did do is I sealed this board. I didn't really know what was on it. It felt like it had maybe some kind of coating on it. So I did give it a little bit of a sand and I cleaned it and I coated it with 2 coats of Weisel's 1 hour enamel clear coat in matte. And I did that because I happen to know that 1 hour enamel and transfers are buddies. So they play well in the sandbox together. And I wanted to make sure that I could do that. You'll also notice that I decided that I'm not going to paint my surface or the back of my labels in white like we typically would to make sure that our transfers pop. I like the idea. I like the rustic nature of this board. And I just kind of feel like, I don't know. I just decided let's give it a shot and see how it works. I may regret the decision, but I'm going to give it a shot and see. So I'm going over these bits, and the 1 hour enamel, because I coated it in advance, makes this super easy to transfer. And I have yet, you know, I don't want to say out loud, I don't want to jinx it. So let's just say that I was pretty confident in my use of the 1 hour enamel to seal the board because my experience has been really good so far. So I want to do that. I might have some areas that are a little more difficult to transfer. We'll see. But again, I wasn't sure what this was coated with, so I felt like it was important to go ahead and seal it. And these labels, like I said, wait till we start putting them on there, and I'll show you how we're going to use them. I love that there were enough blank labels in the Label Masterboard paper to work with. I think that Label Masterboard paper is fabulous, whether you like to do big projects or maybe you like to do ATC cards or junk journaling or make tags or whatever. It's a perfect paper for that. So I'm just getting this to lift. It's lifting really beautifully thanks to that coating. Makes a huge difference. And I usually am only super, okay, so I moved that a little bit. So I want to line that up a little bit right there and hold it down right here. And like I said, I hadn't used this paper or the label masterboard paper yet. And so I'll save the other project with that paper. Let me see if everything is transferred. Do I have anything here? You can lift up your sheet as long as you hold it down with one little bit here. And so we're going to just kind of burnish that in. And I love how that looks on the unfinished wood. So I'm really, really happy with that. And so now what I want to do is I kind of want to lay out my labels a little bit, and because that's where these descriptions are going to go, right? And I just lost a little one. Oh no, please don't stick. Okay, screw cap or cork. I've got a little bit. All right, I'm gonna have to figure that out. I had it come away from the backing paper and it's stuck. I've got a little bit right here. I'll have to sand that off or figure out what to do. So now that we have this in place though, let's go ahead and do, before we start decoupaging our labels on, this is where I thought we could put the description of the anatomy of a wine bottle. And I thought it would be great under this wood band right here before we decoupage our labels. So I'm going to go ahead and center it as best as I can. And I think it's going to be fine either way. And then we'll go ahead and transfer this. Let me know if you've used this transfer before, or if you have not, or if you've seen it used, what was a project that you liked. Just using my transfer stick and giving good pressure. But when you have little text, it is important to make sure that you are, keeping a hand on it too, so that you don't have the transfer break away. Okay, and that crackling sound that you hear is just the backer paper. It's the transfer releasing from the backer paper. And I want to hold that there. Okay, hold that there. And then I'm going to burnish it in place. I'm going to push it in here with my nail just to make sure that it's in place. Okay, and so now we have our description. So now what I want to do is just start to lay out my labels, how I might want to use them. So you've never used it, Shannon, either. Yes, I've seen some very pretty pieces done with it too. So I thought we could think about, like, what labels do we want to use? And it would be important to know if this is going to be really important. I've got a bunch of loose pieces here, but as I'm doing this, I'm just trying to grab this and keep the backing paper so I don't have that other issue. So if this one goes here, I want to make sure that it's going to fit within my label. And I have some with some red areas, like some red trim. So I kind of want to distribute those maybe as evenly as possible. So I might try to lay out my labels a little bit and see how I like that. And trying to think of how, let's see, down here, it's kind of small. I think like this one would fit. And I think I already knew that I liked this one for these long pieces here. So I could adjust those. And so I've got, like, I'll have a little bit of black, I'll have red, I'll have black, I'll have red. And then I might want to do, this is the hardest part, I think, is just trying to decide how you want to do this, or I could use like, could I use that square if I put it in there? I think I'm going to need the longer one for that. But I've got a short one up here that I could probably use. I think that would fit in that one. So we can go kind of here with that. And then I might want a little bit of a black one. Let's see what I've got. I've got this one here too. And again, these are all of the blank labels that are on that sheet. And so maybe this one would go here and that would fit there. So I'm just kind of trying to evenly distribute my colors. And so if this one's going to go here, and this one is going to go here, I think that's it's kind of every other. And then I could either do the red up top, or I could do the black up top. Let me see what I've got. I think I like the black up top, actually. So I think that's the one that I'm going to do. And so I am going to start decoupaging these in place. And I'm going to set something down like right here, because I do have a little bit of a fan on, and that was maybe not the best idea, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to put a little 1 hour enamel in my dish, and I'm just going to start decoupaging these labels in place and see if we can do it that way. So I'm going to lay down my medium on here. Let's see if I can bring this up. And again, I know this board is really, really large. I'm going to use my brush to go in. I'm going to kind of go back and forth because this is a little grooved, and I want to make sure that it is got enough medium on it that I don't miss any place, so that I don't have a bunch of bubbles or anything like that. And I have a little piece of plastic wrap over here. So I'm just going to kind of center this label like right about there and see if I can get it as straight as I can. I don't know that I can. So this is what was amazing to me. I just think that the labels were just like meant to go with this, right? And I was going to lay that down, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of push it. They're small. And so you can see what I like is that the transfer, by not painting it white, it could actually be, pop out more. But I like that then that wood shows through. So it's almost as if by using this without a white background that we are just kind of framing the descriptions, which I think that's really lovely for that transfer. Hi, Wanda. How are you? I'm so glad you made it. Thank you. And I'm loving seeing all your beautiful flowers. So Wanda, if you see T&W for Goat Farm Market and Flowers, they have a beautiful farm not far from us. And they grow their own flowers that you can go out and pick them. And so be sure to follow her page and see what they're up to. And so I'm just going to lay some medium here. And we're going to push this one in place like this. And so I get a little bit of that like this, right? And then I'm going to just go ahead. I like how that wood starts to show through this. So normally I'm always, painting my labels white. And this is a way to do this a little bit differently. Hi, Cheryl. How are you? So good to see you. And so I'm going to want to, let's do this one. So this was a little bit, the trickiest part was just thinking about the process, like what was the order of application so that I could do this. And I thought I'm going to just get a little bit more medium. I don't want too much, but I definitely, because it's got grooves in there, I don't want to have a bunch of wrinkles. I like how this looks like a little bit like a distressed paint. So I think that's a fun look for this. And I think it'll make a great gift for someone, or maybe someone that enjoys wine or something like that would be great. So I'm kind of looking here because I'm going to want those, and I just kind of want to line it up. I'm hoping that I'm getting them straight. I hope it's not going to be too wonky. So I'm putting those labels down, and then we're going to just brush that. And again, I can't get over how much I love the wood showing through the label a little bit, just for this project for sure. I think it's really pretty. All right, let's go ahead and do this one down here. I'll work my way from the bottom to the top. Let's add a little bit more here. What are you guys working on? Are you working on fall projects? Are you already into Christmas? Are you, what are you working on? Let me know. I would love to know what you're working on. We just did our fall transition at the store, and it was such a relief to do because I feel like the spring and summer months are so, so much longer, and it just feels, it was just so nice to do a big changeover. I really enjoyed that. It was a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun, and it's just nice to see that. So I'm putting this one here. I also like that the happy accident that these labels are not only color coordinated. Okay, that wasn't good. Not only color coordinated, but they're also they're varying in size. So they're not all the same size, which I think is brilliant. I'm going to need a little bit more on here because I picked up that. Let me just do a little bit more in here. Fall and Christmas coming out. Yes, getting your steam. Oh, that's great, Wanda. I'm going to make it out to the flower shop. There was one weekend that I was just going to surprise you and come out, and then it didn't work out. So, but I am going to get there. I can't wait to see it in person. And you guys are just doing such a beautiful job. And I know it's something that you've really been working on for a while, and I'm so glad to see it happen for you. Okay. So we've got that one, and we've just got a couple of more labels, and then we're going to go ahead and run the dryer over this. And then we will start transferring our descriptions. I'm going to put that in place. And again, I can't tell really if I'm straight. I hope I'm not going to be too wonky. And I do have to get another, I might not have done that quite right. Let me see. I probably want to do, because this one's really short. So I'm actually going to do, because that one actually comes up in here. How am I going to do that? Oh, shoot. I may not have gotten this just right because I forgot about this one for the 3. But I think what I can do, I'm going to put this one, I'm going to hold this one with my hand, and let's get this bigger one in place first. And then I'll be able to position my other one. I forgot all about that little one that's kind of tucked in here. And I guess I could keep it tucked in and not give it a label. Let's see what we think about that. But I kind of like the idea of having the labels, but I might have, I missed it. So let's see if we can do this one like here. Okay, I've got to stand up and kind of lift this up so I get it a little straighter. Is that straight? That's pretty straight. Let's do that. Okay. They're small, so they're pretty easy to decoupage, which is great. So this is the little one. I may not be able to have a label right here. I may have to just put that little description in there. And I don't know. I think that might be okay. Let's give it a shot. But now I'm going to rip this one with my finger. So I need to get that going and in place. The 1 hour enamel dries really quickly. And so I want to make sure that I'm doing that. I love these labels with this transfer. Okay, so now I am going to want to use my plastic wrap because that has medium that has dried. So I'm going to want to push that in place. And so I do think I'm going to go ahead and put a little 1 hour enamel over the top of all of them, just in case I missed anything. And then we'll run the dryer over it, and then we'll start to add our descriptions to this. So I'm just going to seal these in place. It's going to get another coat of sealer when I'm all done. When all is said and done, we will do that. Oh my gosh, Wanda, thank you. Same. I still remember the day we met in person in Aldi. And then it was so wonderful to run into you at Luckett's, at the market, and all of that. So thank you, friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And so we're going to go ahead and just make sure that we have all of these sealed before I go ahead and dry them. And that's going to help the transfers go in more smoothly. So what do you guys think so far? Are we doing good? I just think that the descriptions for the for this are great. I mean, I just think it adds so much more to the transfer than with the descriptions just alone. And I just think these labels are brilliant. Like I can just see that label masterboard paper. I still have a couple of blank labels here that I'm going to just set aside so that I'll be able to use them for a different project. And now what we're going to do is I'm just going to carefully set these aside. Having a fan on, although for my comfort, was probably not the best idea in the world, but I already did it. So I'm going to set that over here. And then this is the little one. I think this is going to be the only one that doesn't have a label. And I still think it's going to be okay. Let's see. But I'm going to run my heat tool to dry these. I hope I've got to pull my stuff over. And let's see if we can get those dry enough to go ahead and apply our transfers. I'm so glad you liked it, Amber. Thank you. I think it's a fun decor piece for sure. I have several of these cutting boards like this that I bought for the store. And this was the last one. And I loved it. And so I brought it home. And it's been in my dining room. And I like to use these large cutting boards in place of a tray, just as like a base for, stacking, I don't know, books or a plant or just some kind of vignette or something like that. I think it's a nice alternative to a tray. And so I thought, why not? I also want to be really careful around my transfer because I don't want that to lift. The heat can kind of lift your transfer. So I want to pay attention here to what I'm doing. And hi, Deidre, how are you? It's nice to see you here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and dry these. And so I'm excited to finally use the label masterboard paper because I've been using others. And then also to be able to use a transfer that I've never done anything with. And now I'm thinking of all the things that I can do with little boards and that transfer. And I think it just makes a nice, like I said, a nice decor piece. And again, we have so many wineries in our area that I think it will appeal to, many people. So I missed a little medium in there. So that's going to bother me. I'll have to figure that out and just kind of dry that up really well. Dry that up. Okay. So we'll let that cool down a little bit. And so now you can see this is where we're at. And we've got the anatomy of the wine glass down here. And now what we want to do is start to lay out our descriptions. And so I think I'm going to just go ahead and start with the one that we do not have a label for. This is the only one that does not have a label. And I'm just going to kind of put this in place here and we'll get that down. Excuse me. So I'm going to go ahead and put that down and burnish that with the backing paper, just like that. And then this one is, which one? This one is the very bottom, I think, right? Where did that go? Oh, no. Oh, Lord. I hope I didn't lose it, y'all. No. Okay, it's right here. Okay. I was like, oh, my goodness. That would be bad. We would have gotten all this way. So here is the label here, and I'm just going to kind of center that in the label as best as I can. Burnish that down. And so now you're starting to get the idea. I just think it makes a big, big difference. So now I'm going to go ahead and do, let's see if this is, all right, so it's this one that goes here. I guess it didn't go, well, how does this go? So I think it's one. All right, let's see how this goes. All right, so it kind of goes, well, it goes like this because that's how I did it. It's just not, I would have thought that this would have been like, you know, it would have gone like in order, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and do 8. And so I'm going to cut that out a little bit more to make sure that it's going to fit in my label and I don't need to piece it. Am I going to need to piece this? Maybe a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to worry too much about it. I think I'm just going to let that number 8 go over there and let it kind of go over the label a little bit like that. I think that's fine. I don't know that that'll be the case for all of them, but let's see. Okay. Yep. So I like that. So let's go to this one. All right. So now I have 5, 6, and 7. So I'm just going to kind of put that there. And then we have 6. I want to line them up with their number, right? This one I may want to do a little fussy cutting because I think it's going to go way too far over the label. So we'll look at that one. That one I may, and I don't have my fussy cut scissors with me, of course. So I'll just have to do the best I can with the big ones that I have. Let's see if this one's going to be too big too. A little bit. Okay, so we're going to figure out, I don't know. Let me see how, if I could get this one, I could get it to do that, but it's going to go over a little bit. And I want it to stick. What I could do, let me see if I can cut out the number and we can just do it a little bit differently. So if I just cut out the number part and move that over, would I be able to get this whole bit in there? And for the most part, I really could. So I think that's what we're going to do. And thank goodness I'm working on a silicone mat. So let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm first going to do this little bit here and have that go with the diagram line. So I'm going to do that first. Put that in place. I'm going to do this one first. You can piece these together. You can cut them up, do what you need to do. And I've got a little piece here. And now what I want to do is take the part that goes with that and see how I can get that to fit. Even if I have to go really close to the edge, I still think that is better. I want to go just like that. So at least I'm trying to get as much of it to stay. And it's just really this mostly here. And I think I don't think it's enough to be too concerned about, but maybe I'll change my mind when I get it on here. We'll have to see. I'm going to kind of go here. This one might have been better if it were red so that the black lettering would show through. But I think there's enough of the Y that you actually see it. And so I think that's going to be fine. For this one now, I feel like I should do here. This one's going to be absolutely fine. And then the number 7 might be a little tricky, but let's see if we can do it. So number 7 is here, and it's going to come below. And this one I'm going to cut as well. And it's not going to line up perfectly, but you're going to know, especially because it's at the bottom, right? So for this one, what I'm going to do is, because I only have so much label available to me, is I'm going to come just like this and go as low as I can. Play with that a little bit just to kind of line it up a little bit. I'm going to go as low as I can without getting it to stick. I think I'm out of luck. All right, so we're going to just do that. It'll be perfectly imperfect. That's how we're going to do it, right? And okay, so I'll do that. Can you tell I'm concentrating? So are you guys still with me? Let's see. I want to kind of line that up so it goes here. And at least it's still pointing to the description. So I think that's going to be fine. But that's the beauty of them, is you can play out with the spacing a little bit. Okay. So we've got this one. We have 5, 6, and 7. And I still think it matches up pretty well. And so on this one, we've got 10. So we're going to get that one done. We have 9. And here the orientation is a little bit different. So we'll play with that a little bit too and see if that works. This was 4. So that goes up here, 9 and 10. So let's start with 10 and see how we want to do this one. We'll just kind of go ahead and lay it in place. I'm kind of wanting them to be a little bit centered. So I'm just going to do it like that. Even though the orientation, it's like a right orientation, we're just going to do it like this and see how we do. Okay. And then we'll do 9 again here. It doesn't have to be completely centered, but I'll take the longest version of it and center that as best as I can. I'm so glad you like it, Christina. Thank you. I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but I think it's working. So that's really good. And so then this one, I'm going to come here and do it stand up a little bit and see if I can get a little straight. Get that. Okay. And then we've got our top one. This is the one where I'm missing a bit. I'm going to cut these 2 apart and do them separately. So this one just said closure, which is number 2. And I'm just going to come here and go below, but I'm going to cut this part off because this is the part that this is the part that came off. So it should have said cork or screw top, but I'm going to come here and just go really low. Or I could do this one here. I think that would make more sense, is if I do that there, and then I can do the other one. Since we already have that number 3, it seems to give it a little more symmetry. And then this is the one, the mouth opening of the bottle, and I'll just center that there like that. and do it. I'm running around on a little stool today, so I have to look back so that I don't fall on my tush. So um, there you go. All right, so let's get these out of place. Let's get all of this stuff if we can. But now we have our breadboard, and I love how the descriptions look inside the labels. I think it was the colors coordinate beautifully, and I love it. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this project. I think you can see it the way I'm seeing it now. You're seeing it, or is it upside down for you? Let me know if it's upside down for you. For me, it looks like it's right side up, but I'm not sure. And if it is, then I can turn it so that you can see it. I think it's unique too. I love it with the labels. And I just think it's a great decor piece. I could look at doing something up at the top, but I don't know. You guys can help decide. So we have other elements in this. I thought about, they did have some, some little, like these little grape things here. I thought that could go above the other band. This might be really fun, but I also don't want to take too much away from the anatomy of the wine bottle. Love, love, love these corkscrews in here and the corks. I thought that would be fun. And then these are really sweet. So these are the different wine glasses and what their shapes are and their purposes. So anyway, I don't know. I think I really like it as is. I don't really think that I'm going to add anything to it. But again, the labels are just super. That label masterboard paper is just brilliant for a variety of projects. And so let me know if you've used it in the comments or something. And I'm going to kind of come here. So let's see if I can do that. So anyway, there you go. It was a fun project to do, and I'm glad it came together. Thank you so much. Thank you, Wanda. And thank you so much for joining me. And whether you're watching live or on replay, it's really fun when you're able to join live. I know I go on an unusual time for most people. It's before dinner time and at the end of the workday. But however you join, I just want you to know how much I appreciate it and enjoy creating with all of you. So anyway, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to reply as soon as I possibly can. Wherever you are, I hope you are doing well and having a great day. And thanks again. Happy creating, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.